What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another rebuild on Madden 20, this time of the Dallas Cowboys. I never mention it, but it's a realistic one. Realistic style, okay? There's going to be someone in the comment section complaining about, the fifth string fullback who hasn't played a single snap in their career. That's not a fullback. Not a single snap in their career, and they'll be so mad that I got rid of them. Of course, we have the rookies. Ceedee Lamb should probably be superstar, right? I think he'll, at minimum, be star, but I think him and Judy, maybe even Ruggs, because Ruggs was taken so high, will probably be superstar. But maybe star, but I think superstar is fair here, which begs the question of who plays the slot position. I get it, the Cowboys took best available, and I think that's a smart decision, as they're, it's not like they're 50-50 on Gallup. I think Gallup is decent, but yeah, I guess it was just a best available situation. Probably should have went lineman. They maybe should have went Ruiz. Maybe that's a little bit of a reach, but I don't know. They lost Frederick. Their line still looks good, right? But at the same time, it is a little iffy. Tyler, I think, should be star. I really do. He was, at least in, all these rookie classes. I don't know. Once again, I barely know anything about college players, so don't completely roast me. And if you do, to make up for that roasting, you can like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Or if you didn't, roast me, just do it anyways. Sell out as usual. Gotta love it. But yeah, I think because of how high he was in almost everyone's class, I'm going to have him as a star development and put him at center. I know we probably don't really need that kind of stuff, but that's the way it is. Aldon Smith did get re-signed. I think we're going to leave him at normal. I really do. It's really interesting because does that mean they're going to be playing him a lot in coverage? Is he actually, did he, I know they got him, but was that actually just now? Yeah, so he's, okay, so he is reinstated actually last night, ironically, which is interesting. Actually, not last night. It was earlier in the day. No, actually, it was last night. Never mind. It's 4 a.m. now, so yeah, it's technically last night. Okay, fair enough. I don't know why that matters, but here we are. Of course, the weirdest thing, in my opinion, about the Cowboys offseason, and it really doesn't affect them a whole lot, it's Jason Witten going to the Raiders. That is so peculiar to me. Is it not peculiar to you guys to see a guy come out of retirement, so old, comes back to his, his original team, plays for a year, and then goes on to another team? That's kind of strange. I don't know. But looking at the Cowboys, they did have a really good draft. They got Trayvon Diggs, who honestly, another guy you could probably debate should be star development or better, but we've already given some questionable star developments. I don't know. He deserves to be. He was supposed to go in the late first, wasn't he? Was he around? I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to do it. We've already given up too many. It's also really interesting to see how many corners this team has still, even after Byron Jones. Clinton Dix, did they actually get him? The Cowboys are good. Don't get it twisted. The Cowboys are a good team. Hate on them all you want. They're solid. However, we do know last year, for some reason, that linebacking group did struggle. They really did. I'm not sure why or how, really, but they definitely did. And as a Packers fan, I seen it alone with Aaron Jones just absolutely smoking them. It was really surprising, honestly, seeing that they had, that should have been a step-up year with how much talent they have, but it was actually a bit of a step back. Also, Gerald McCoy on the defensive line. Interesting to be playing end. Doesn't really have that athleticism, but there's really no one else we can go for. Gallimore, another really good pick. Make an argument he should be star. But this is the starting roster, and honestly, there's not a whole lot we need to do to get better, but best available draft picks, if we find some guys with hidden, we could still upgrade. There are positions to upgrade. Dak Prescott, what the hell even happened? Did they still not settle that, or what's the story? I don't think they did. There's no way that's true, right? I was looking at the contract situation just to see what was going on. Dak Prescott was offered a 5-year, $175 million deal, and he didn't instantly sign that. I don't know what the bonus is like, but you got to imagine at least a third of it's guaranteed, right? And then some analysts said, I've heard he's asking for somewhere in north of $45 million in that 5th year. If we're being honest, I don't think Dak's even going to play through that contract. He should be looking for guaranteed money. If that guaranteed money reaches anything over $60 million, I'm signing that ASAP. Like, I don't understand. I really, like, the contract he's asking for just completely spells that it's a bad decision for them to re-sign him. It really does. It's just like, it's almost like he doesn't believe in his ability, you know? I get it, right? You want that bonus, but it's not even about the bonus, it seems. It's almost like he cares about the money per year rather... I don't know, dude. I just... Take the guaranteed money, rob the Cowboys, everyone will be happy. All right, so we gave Dak Prescott a 6-year $186, but a lot of it is through the signing bonus, so probably a little bit better than real life, I would imagine. And I just don't see the Cowboys ever letting him go, just because if they've worked this hard and both sides are still negotiating and they're willing to offer him that kind of money, they're just going to keep him. So Dak Prescott is the Dallas Cowboys QB for the future, like it or not. Tight end, Blake Jarwin, he's not a bad player. 3-year 12, might be a little high though, because I know this team is going to be running out of money soon. Antoine Woods, 100% going to be gone. Clint Dix, 98% chance he's going to be gone. Sean Lee, 100% chance he's gone. Anyone asking for anything way more than they're worth, gone. So basically, pretty much everyone here is going to be gone. Unless Clinton Dix's his contract or his tag isn't that expensive, then we'll do it. I don't know if this is just like a scripted situation, but Leighton Vander Esch is apparently now superstar development. He just happens to have that happen to him all the time. We're headed to the playoffs, can't lie. The season was choked quite a bit. However, a tie versus the Redskins just barely gives us the nod over the Eagles. Wrong thing. Dak with a kind of a mess season, but we already paid him, so congrats to Dak on that. Look at that. 4 straight losses, man. Yikes. The Rams, by the way, they were 1-11-1 when we played them there, so interesting season. Redskins 3-11-2. Basically a number 1 overall pick again. Probably not going to pass on Trevor Lawrence, though. Dak Prescott with it. It was a good season. Can't lie. It was still a good season. It's just you'd like a little bit more. Good accuracy, as you would expect numbers-wise. Rushing touchdowns, Elliott could get back up to X Factor. I don't know, though. Receiving, kind of a letdown. Can't lie. I know it's spread around quite a bit, but kind of a letdown. Speaking of offensive linemen, that's pretty big a letdown, too. Tyron with 8 allowed. Well, I guess it's all right. You are taking a little bit of a hit at that line position. Leighton Vander Esch could be X Factor after this season. 10 sacks, 106 tackles. Awuzie could go to superstar. Jalen could go to superstar. We'll have to see. Lawrence with 12.5, not bad. Ane, 9 sacks. Gerald McCoy, 8.5. Ironically enough, Aldon Smith had 1 sack on how many snaps played? 673. Obviously, he didn't play every snap. You don't expect a guy to just come out of retirement, all of these issues, and just come out and play every snap. But 700 snaps, 700 downs, that's a lot of downs. Okay, that is a lot. Looking at the NFC side, any awards, Dak at 6 for Offensive Player of the Year, not bad. Leighton at number 1 for Defensive Player of the Year, really good. Any rookie awards, Lamb at number 5, Pollard number 6. Lamb, only rookie on the list there. Anthony Miller, okay, that's interesting. Cowboys, Lawrence at 2, Leighton at number 1. Surprisingly, don't see Jalen anywhere, but that's fine. Awuzie at number 4 for DBs. Kicker, number 4. The Cowboys did make a lot of fan-favorite type moves last offseason, so, you gotta feel pretty good if you're a Cowboys fan, right? If you're watching this video and you're a Cowboys fan, I admit you probably are getting a lot of hate for whatever reason, but, here we are. Anyways, though, 86 overall team. What is Dak's overall? He's 26 now. Really could use that dev up. I don't think he's going to do it, though. 86 overall, so 85 overall Dak. He is very solid, so you can't really be mad with that. And Lamb probably plays the number 2 spot next season. Going against those Seahawks, though, 86 to their 83. The question is, though, Dak versus Russell. I don't know if Zeke can really pull it off. I've seen Zeke have amazing postseasons and really, really bad ones where he goes like 27 for like 73 or something, which is just terrible. But we'll see. We'll see. If they can win against the Seahawks, who Russell really didn't have that good of a season himself, And I feel pretty good about this team's chance at a one-year Super Bowl. Holy crap. Cleveland is 15-1, man. They really love Cleveland and Sim. It's a brutal one out to go against them. Good job by defense. Get 3 points. Really good drive, but you got to finish with points. There you go. Redeeming yourselves a little bit. And defense locking up. Start of the second half, it is going to be a 17-3 game. Not a bad start at all. Third quarter, long drive, took up all the clock. Dallas's defense absolutely showing up here. 23-10. The offense was garbage, but the defense just seemed to be unbeatable. Really did. Dak still got outperformed, though. Zeke definitely carried the load. Chris Carson got locked. 20 for 36. You thought 27 for 73 was bad. Take a look at that one. That is potentially the worst performance in the postseason I've ever seen from a guy over 85 overall. Look at Gallimore just balling out. Kickers, Greg Zerline. Good stuff. You know, if we miss a field goal and Myers doesn't miss his, that's a complete game changer. You know, that's a 6-point swing. Championship game versus the Falcons. Very manageable. Both teams at 10-5-1. Another 86 overall to 83 overall matchup. If we win this one, it would be nice to hit that 2 out of 3 year mark. All right, can Matt Ryan do it? Early on, defense does what it did last game. Got the stop. Offense does put up 7 this time. Up 13-3. 20-3 at half. This Dallas team is kind of balling out. 23-3. I don't want to toot our own horn here, but we're doing pretty well. And I don't remember the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl very often year one. I have seen a couple of Browns versus Cowboys matchups, but lately the Cowboys haven't been killing it absolutely in Sims. So, all the number. That 99 looks kind of good, though. Dak, please improve. Please. We get it. We get it. This is why, you know, I can't really say this is why Dallas is struggling to sign him, because they are giving him a lot more money than most people give him. Like, I'd say they're giving him anywhere from $7 to $14 million more than most teams, most fans would. Well, maybe not most teams. Most fans would be willing to give him. If you need to see any potential dev-ups, a huge one would be Dak Prescott, but once again, it could happen. You know, the seasons could have been really rough, but I highly doubt it. And now he does not get it. I believe Cooper was already X Factor, right? I mean, he wouldn't have gotten off of that season anyway, so I'm not sure why I even checked. Defensively, Leighton really didn't dev up. However, Awuzie, that is a huge one. I mean, if it was going to be between the two of them, definitely would have rather had Awuzie. So they have their new number 1 cornerback in town, Chidobe. Sounds like Chernobyl a little bit. Anthony Brown, I believe, needs a contract soon. So I think Diggs might move up the ranks a little bit and then trade Anthony off next season for maybe like a 3rd-round pick if we're lucky. How old is he? 25 going on 26. That's rough. Do they not need to sign him right now? Was he just not on our list? What's the story? Or did they sign him already? First out of 3. What do you mean? I mean, it's a good deal, I suppose, but okay, dude. Either way, 86 overall, already in the Super Bowl, and going against the Patriots. Oh, Cameron Newton. Did he actually just go back up to Superstar, by the way? God dang. Okay, Cam. Let's see it. Let's see it. They are the highest overall team we face, but we are still higher overall than them by 1. This is also the first technical away game we're playing. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl. It's supposed to be neutral, which is ironic because this would probably be the most hated Super Bowl of all time because people just absolutely hate the Cowboys. Obviously, people absolutely hate the Patriots. What a game. I mean, this would either be the most watched Super Bowl or the least watched Super Bowl. There's no in between. It's not going to be an average Super Bowl. It's either the most or the least. One of the two. All right, Dallas, do your magic. Early on again, defense forcing that stop, getting the touchdown on offense. Defense is doing well, but offense needs to capitalize. 14-3, 21-3. It's looking pretty good. It's looking really good. Some would say it's looking absolutely pristine. And yes, it is a year 1 Super Bowl win. It is a 28-17 victory for the Cowboys over the Patriots. Of course, we did change the scheme, which is probably both sides. Actually, no, did we keep Dallas? We might have changed the defensive formation, but the same playbook. I can't remember exactly what we did, but we definitely changed the offense completely because, of course, with Mike McCarthy, they're definitely going to be passing the ball a decent bit more. I want to see what it's going to look like. I will say, I'm not going to call the Cowboys a sleeper team because really they just underperformed last year. It wasn't anything to do with lack of talent, but they definitely are a team that people kind of are sleeping on. I mean, I don't see them at the number 1 on anyone's list, but they're very close for me. I mean, they got to be a top 3 roster easily. So it's going to be an interesting season for sure. That window is closing, especially with that contract. Once you have to pay your QB in the NFL, it's a GG for that window. So you got to play into that quickly, which is another reason why I hate bringing up the Packers, but the Jordan Love Rodgers thing is super spicy this offseason. You can't tell me it isn't. That's why I'm not a huge fan of letting your guy sit for that long, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting there. But when you get your guy, you got to make it count. Like the Ravens right now, they're in a great spot. They got to make it count. They got to get a win, a Super Bowl win before that rookie deal is up at least. Dak absolutely murdering it. One of the greatest Super Bowl performances of all time, it would appear. Missing 1 throw out of 19, 253 yards and 4 touchdowns with 0 picks is ridiculous. He had a little bit on the ground. Zeke, a little bit worse than normal, but 5.2 per on, the longest of 11 is a very consistent good game. And look at Ceedee Lamb, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, an absolute goon. Absolutely balled out there, and just a great performance. Zerline missed his only kick of the postseason. 3 total on the year out of maybe 20 kicks is amazing. So the team just absolutely played its heart out, and they really deserve it. This was just a very good, consistent rebuild start. I mean, all 3 postseason games early on, just about a 3-and-out pretty much, and then they scored something. The Cowboys scored something right after that on offense, and then just kept kind of gradually scoring more points. So really good stuff there, and already a Super Bowl win. So we will do 2 more seasons, whether they're 6-10 or 16-0. I will show you guys we also did not cheat. Here's the postseason, 1 game each time, no forced wins or anything like that. So really impressive stuff. And let's see how good this team can get. Can we win 3 straight? Maybe. I mean, it's been a while. I don't think we did it this year. Have we ever done 3 straight? Probably, right? So looking at those re-signings, of course, with this team definitely having to pay players in the future. I don't think you can afford Clinton Dix. If you can give him a 1-year, like $7 million, that's not bad. Going free agency, his tag is going to be exercised, $6.28 million for the tag. I don't think he would hold out. Clinton Dix has actually been pretty reasonable in his career as of late, where he's taken these lower offers because he knows the safety position is kind of being undervalued in the league. And, specifically safety, it is a perform and get paid situation. Antoine Woods, no, absolutely none. Blake Jarwin wasn't bad, but I think we could probably not even only get him for cheaper in free agency, but we could probably upgrade from him. Maybe even draft that as our first position in the draft. There's some decent tight ends at the top of the board there. Darian Thompson, not a bad backup, but this team is broke. It's got to go for, bare minimum. The depth is going to suck, but you got to go pretty much bare minimum if you're Dallas here. I also do want to trade some sort of corner. Anthony Brown is on a little bit of a decent deal. I don't know if I want to get rid of Jordan Lewis, though, because Jordan Lewis is actually a pretty solid player. I suppose he's not that much better than Anthony. He is slower. I'm going to make sure there's no crazy stat we're missing. Tackling, that is pretty big in fairness, but I don't know how big it is for Madden Sim. Jordan Lewis is 25. I think you'd easily get a 3rd round, mid-3rd to high 3rd for him. So I think that might be what we do, because I just don't think we're going to sign him. The best case scenario for us to sign him is maybe a 4-year, $25 million deal, and even then, it might be something like 4-year, $40, which, in real life makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I think we can keep Trayvon, Anthony, and Chidobe as the 3 starters. That'd be great. Trade Jordan Lewis off for a 3rd round, and that's pretty much that. This team's going to have to pay some players, so as much as I want a tight end, it comes down to what makes the most sense. We release Crawford. We gain $7 million from the move. So we actually cleared up a bit of space. We have $23 million to work with. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything. Ooh. Delaney seems like a decent fit for this team. Great blocker. Decent enough as a possession receiver. So I think this would be a huge move. I think this would make so much sense. I think his agent would be slapping him around if he decides not to come here. All right, so we offer some oak. We receive no exceptions of our offers. Okay, dude. That's what I said. We offer some decent contracts, but no one cares. So we did get Nicholas Morrow, which does change up the draft a little bit. We were eyeing up Monty Rice, but we might be able to avoid it now. It depends on what's there, what makes sense for us. We did get Delaney Walker, which is big. We did lose Blake Jarwin. It doesn't really change the fact that we still need tight end, but Delaney as a backup or a starter for blocking on the ground game should be magical. I don't know what the hell I was going to say. I was going to say monster. Damn it. But yeah, we have a couple of players at the end of the draft. Who's actually our left end or our right end? The Rams are the number 1 overall pick. Oh. So we do have Anai, but if he doesn't dev up as a starter, it'd be pretty annoying. So Snowden's definitely on our list. Safety's on our list as well, but I don't really like the safety situation here. So I think we're going to keep moving until we lose one of the players and then make a business decision. Obviously at 32, it would cost quite a bit to get anywhere into like the late 20s or the early 20s. But so far, we're kind of avoiding any issues here. No one's gone yet. I really would have thought one of the tight ends would be gone. And there goes Mr. Kyle Pitts. This is tough now. So 21 Raiders. We have the choice between. We do have Ernest as well. No, we didn't draft anyone, obviously. Ernest Brown. Very slow, though. This is a tough one because I like Snowden quite a bit. And he would be a great potential piece at the spot. Actually, let's see Anai, whatever his name is. Is he... I know he went up a decent overall because he actually did have a really good season. Surprisingly, didn't dev up. But yeah, 76 overall, 21. He's actually pretty solid. I think he could play right end. The thing is, how high do we need to go for the tight end? We just saw the tight end go. Another tight end go. Do we go another pick? Ernest. The Saints could probably use a tight end. So yeah, the Saints definitely have a bit bigger of a question mark on their hands, and that's who the hell is their QB going to be. So we give the Saints 32, 96 in Poe for 23. I was going to give them a 5th round instead of Poe, but they didn't want it, even though that would have been the fair trade. And I think clear cut, it is obviously down between Charles Snowden, who's an early 3rd talent, late 1st player, or Brevin Jordan, who's insanely fast, early 2nd talent, late 1st projected. I think personally the biggest need, hands down, goes to tight end. So Mr. Brevin or Brevin Jordan, whatever his name is, supposed to go 35, absolutely would not reach that. 21 years old, a little on the raw side, but very, very, very fast. And I think we might actually sit him behind Delaney for a season. Delaney might actually retire after this year. Give him the full start, learn behind Delaney, and still get a decent bit. And the Saints still get their QB, so not a bad trade at all, actually. They did really well there. Shockingly, Snowden's actually still there. It'd be a great trade-up, but it's a little too steep for us. Let's go to 32 in the second, see what's best available. Monty actually would probably need to go right around here if we wanted him, because we don't have that 3rd round pick anymore, so let's see. You do have Monty here. You do have Neil Farrell, which I think you would have to trade up for him. This is interesting now. Monty Rice. We have Morrow, but Morrow's not great. We do kind of need 2 because I don't think we're going to be able to afford, what's his name? Leighton Vander Esch. So, yeah, maybe a little high, but we're going to take Monty Rice late in the 2nd. Of course, normal development, 69 overall, but lots of potential with that speed and excel. Maybe our Flyers love kind of took us over a little bit on that one, but I think it's a great choice. Got to have that potential speed, and dev-ups don't come too hard for linebackers. So 4th round pick, Neil Farrell. I don't think Neil's really the biggest need because we do actually have some youngsters, but I think we should still trade up for him. Matt Hankins, early 6, could use him as well. Yeah, but let's trade up to the Buccaneers, see what it'll cost us. We give the Buccaneers 128 this, Randy Gregory, and a 6th round next year for 97, which is definitely fair, assuming Randy Gregory's even a Cowboy in real life still. I feel like I haven't really heard a lot about him. But looking at our biggest needs, I would say DT is still one of them. So Mr. Neal, 22 years old, joining the team with hidden development. Of course, 68 overall, going to be able to learn from some of the better DTs in front of him. But at one point, we're hopefully going to see him start. And that's pretty much that. Let's move on to the next round. If Hankins is still there, we might make one final trade-up, which, we haven't really used up too much, considering we've landed a decent draft. And Hankins is still there. Could be a team, could be a position that actually is a starter for us in the future. So let's trade to the Jags. Our 5th round pick this, and maybe 5th round next. Hopefully that's good enough. They do already have a 5th round anyways. Yeah, they have another 5th round right after that anyways. So, yeah, they're willing to part for that for a next year 5th. Obviously, they do get the 5th later anyways this round. But Matt Hankins, cornerback number 4 or 5, hidden development, 73 overall. I don't remember him being this good. Obviously, kind of good with tackling and whatnot, but lacking on the coverage department. But that's the power of being able to sit. This is a decent team to join for DB, I would say, especially if you're still trying to learn. Now, at 32, I think it's going to be punter. Duffy should be the guy. Stonehouse is gone, so Mr. Max Duffy, 27 years old, but still ready to go. And hidden development, I always thought he was normal. I feel like I say that every time we take him, though. But anyways, looking at the developments, I can't remember if Jordan is star or superstar. He's definitely not X Factor, but he is star development. Okay, so Kyle Pitts is that dude, huh? Either way, I'm still happy with what we got. And we have to change some numbers because, yikes. Of course, these 3 will be star development. So does that mean Pitts is the one that's superstar? I'm not going to look, but I'm almost certain that is the case. I believe Pitts is superstar. That's kind of a yikes. Usually Jordan does go above him, but it does make sense. I mean, Pitts is the better player, so there's that. Let's see if we can get... Well, we're going to get rid of Hikuntini, I guess. Number 87 for Mr. Jordan, which I think will obviously look really good on him. Looks kind of strong on him. I think 88 would look better, even though that was Dez's number, and now Ceedee Lamb's number. What number is he wearing in real life, actually? Oh, he is wearing number 88, apparently. Interesting. So we trade Jordan Lewis and a 6th next year for the Jaguars' 3rd round pick this year. The Chiefs need a corner even more, but I don't really feel like making the competition harder, and it obviously would have been a worse pick in the long run anyways. All right, so this is what the roster looks like. Ceedee Lamb will play the number 2 spot now. It looks really good. Obviously, there's a reason this team won the Super Bowl first year. Offensively, nothing really changed. Delaney Walker, decently big upgrade with Jordan primed to be the starter next season. Other than that, though, nothing changed. We do have Jack Anderson to potentially replace Connor Williams if he has a really bad season again or needs to be re-signed. Linebackers, Monty Rice will start. Morrow pretty much the backup at every spot. And then looking at the defensive line, a little bit of a hit as the DTs went down a decent bit. However, you do see what's his name? Anai, I believe his name is, as the new starting right end. So could be a big year for him or disappointing. Maybe we'll regret not going for Snowden. But yeah, I mean, this team is primed to do well. Cornerback maybe lacking a little bit, but overall, you can't be mad with what we have here. So for the re-signings, one of the bigger ones early on is obviously Chidobe Awuzie. Couldn't afford Byron Jones, and this isn't too much cheaper than Byron, but it still is a decent deal, and it's their new number 1 corner. Xavier Woods, I wouldn't like to sign up for too much more than 2 years, so I think we're going to give him a 3-year, $9 million deal. And then Haaklin Dix, unlikely to play through the tag again, but if we can get him for like a 1 year, what is that? $6 million again? I think that, 6.74, that's fair, right? He's actually willing to take that if we just... no, he's not, damn it. All right, season after the Super Bowl victory. Is it going to be another good one? It is, and it's a 13-3 one with the Giants coming out of nowhere at 11-5. The Eagles dropping hard, which, the salary, some of the age of the, potentially the front line and the D-line catching up with them a little bit, so probably why they took a bit of a hit. Wrong team. But yeah, they did not do well at all there after considering how good of a season they had before. Dak Prescott with another similar situation, 29th in yards. Touchdowns not terrible, but picks severely worse. Ezekiel Elliott, even with the not super pass heavy run, actually it's kind of run heavy scheme, but supposedly a less run heavy scheme, still balling out. Of course, Pollard did have a lot of rushes as well. So I mean, in fairness to Dak, he did have 38 touchdowns on the season, just under 4,000 yards. But they are running the ball quite a bit. That's over 500 attempts. Obviously, a lot of these would be scrambles, you would assume, but still, 500 rushing attempts is a lot. Receiving, Ceedee Lamb, probably an X factor. 1,000 yards receiving with 14 touchdowns. Delaney Walker, 833 yards, 6 touchdowns, not bad either. Cooper, not really playing up to the contract, and Gallup in the slot position, really surprisingly low at 299 with 2 touchdowns. So interesting there. Brevin Jordan with decent. And offensive line, tackles specifically, not great. Let's take a look at those sacks. Yes! Bradley, please give me that dev up. Gallimore, please give me the dev up. Lawrence, who's a god, really underperforming in this rebuild. It's still Monty Rice, 4 picks. Awuzie with 5. Not bad stuff at all. Kicking, Zerline misses 2 again, but one of them this time is blocked. First time might have been blocked too, but not bad. Not bad. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. Don't know what we would have won, but something. I would assume we had something. Zeke almost won Offensive Player of the Year. Dak, surprisingly, at number 5. Defensive Player of the Year, nowhere near on the top this time. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Trevor Lawrence, of course, unlikely for Jordan to get up there. Monty Rice, though, a Defensive Rookie of the Year, maybe a dev up, perhaps. Dak at second best QB in the NFC side, which is a little surprising. Zeke at number 1 for running back. Ceedee Lamb at number 1 for wide receivers. Interesting numbers here. You can see Mike Evans and Godwin at 4 and 5, and then Shepard and Slayton at 6 and 7, which is kind of interesting. O-line, number 1 and number 2. Number 4, nothing else. D-line, we did have Lawrence at 7. Linebacker, really no one up there. I thought maybe Monty. Awuzie moves from number 4 to number 2 corner, so definitely worth that contract. Zerline moves from, I believe, 2 to 3. Actually, might have went up. I can't remember. But yeah, this is looking pretty prime. It's looking pretty good. All right, going against Dallas, who do have, that pretty high receiving group, so they got to be pretty decent. Kyle Pitts as well, who did have a pretty average season, though, it seems, because he was lower than Jordan on the Offensive Rookie of the Year list. So, actually, why did they draft him? They have everything Ingram. Dallas. New York and their first-round picks, man, I'll tell you. But here we go. The Chiefs, of course, win their game. Gotta love when you see teams like the Browns and Chiefs still in it. This makes you feel great. Start of the game, they do score a field goal, which we didn't really see too much of last postseason. First drive is usually pretty bad, so off to a bad start usually. But hey, in this one, they went off to a slow start. We kind of came back a bit of scoring. It's a peculiar game, but it looks like we will, win the game and move on to the championship round. It's a weird one, man. It was real dicey. I don't know. It's just there wasn't any consistency to either team's drives. It seemed like they would gain a few yards, lose a few, gain a few, lose a few, gain a few. But either way, Jameis Winston, the starting QB for the Giants, which seems unlikely. Once again, this run defense is insane. 20 attempts, 44 yards, and 2.2 per. That is brutal. Look at the receiving. Gallup with a touchdown. Ceedee Lamb a lot of catches. So, pretty average receiving. Nothing spectacular from any one player, really. No sacks or picks. And then kicking was perfect from both sides. So, just a weird, clean, I don't know, kind of boring matchup, really. But hey, we were on the better side of it. That's the main goal. And a chance to actually go back-to-back Super Bowl victories, which is ridiculous. We do see another matchup, a rematch versus the Seahawks from last season. I believe the Seahawks were the closest team to us, were they? I think they were the closest team in the postseason to beating us, but they did take a bit of a hit. Didn't seem like they added enough talent in their reload. So it should be easier in theory, but we'll see. And, of course, the Super Bowl representative for the AFC is the Chiefs, even though Mahomes didn't really play super well. Didn't throw a pick, but 3 touchdowns, 179 yards. That yardage is a bit low. And, most teams don't run the ball well against us. So if we can win this, which it's not looking good, we should have a decent chance. That's going to be tough to get. Oh, you got to score there. Okay, good. Oh, jeez, what am I doing? Really good start to the second half, but that score before half needed to be hit. We are seeing a very good resurgence here by the offense. It's tied up at 24 all, and right now, 24 all, if the offense scores a touchdown, overtime, we had a chance and we just didn't take it. I don't know what the hell happened there, but in overtime, looking pretty good. Getting down the field and winning the game. This Dallas team is balling out right now, and Dak, touchdowns were low, but 380 yards on 88% completion. Obviously, we don't know the whole story. Maybe some big rack catches. I don't know, but first glance, that might be another like postseason record, right? 3 rushing touchdowns for Zeke. That's where most of the touchdowns came from. But 88% on just about 400 yards and 34 throws. That's got to be pretty close to some sort of record, right? Like, it has to be. Obviously, there's the whatever percentage minimum attempts bullcrap, but 34 attempts, 80% or 88% completion. That's insane. Yeah, Dak definitely was not the reason we almost lost. We did the smart thing. Dak got him down the field, and Zeke pushed it in. That's yikes. Super Bowl versus the Chiefs. Let's take a look at those dev-ups. I would say Monty Rice probably has one. Anai might have one. Zeke did have one. CeeDee Lamb had one. So Zeke finally back to X Factor, like he deserves. Not going to lie, though, what are those abilities? Is that what the game gave them? Leapfrog and inside zone guru. Yeah, whoever's in charge of giving the abilities to Zeke, definitely not a Zeke fan. They're definitely like, oh, he's just a product. Probably a division rival fan, to be honest. But a super, that offensive line is what's bringing him up all that success, which, to be fair, it's not completely wrong, but still a little disrespectful there with those crap abilities. Monty Rice, shockingly, did not go up in dev. Jalen, don't remember him having a great season anyways. Really, though, I mean, we're having so much success already, so I don't want to cheat, but 12.5 sacks? Really? No dev up? I'm not going to, but damn, I feel like I should. Either way, in the Super Bowl again, 90 overall to their 84. Question is, who are we going to be able to afford? We have the insane Cooper contract, the insane DeMarcus Lawrence contract, the insane Dak contract. Where the hell does this team even have its money? Like, offensive line has got to be, well, obviously they lost a few pieces, but the Zach Martin and Tyron have to be top 5s at their position as well for payment. So I don't know. If we can win the Super Bowl, though, all that doesn't matter, because if the team comes down to crap after this year, it doesn't matter, because you won back-to-back. You cemented your history as one of the greatest teams of all time. And overall, with all those rings, possibly the best franchise of all time. But obviously this streak is solid. And this is a solid Super Bowl, speaking of. You can see this is a good game. Let's slow it down. It looks like the Dallas defense has done it. Offense scores a touchdown, and it's a back-to-back Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl run. Unbelievable. We're going to do another one after this, but holy crap, Dallas does it again. I mean, Dak, regular season, pretty average, even below average. Postseason, pretty average. I will say the completion percentage is astronomical, it's huge. It is, it is important, but McCarthy basically makes himself one of the greatest coaches of all time with this set. And honestly, the craziest part is it's not that unrealistic. It really isn't. On paper, at least, you would peg the Cowboys. Hey, look at Monty Rice, player of the game. You would definitely peg the Cowboys as, like I said, a top 3, top 5 roster in the league. So really just comes down to the coaching, comes down to consistency, and obviously who gets healthy. We've had seasons in the NFL where a lot of top-tier names get hurt, and if that's the case, it opens up some doors. So it wouldn't take much for these Cowboys to get in this position, in my opinion. Very unlikely to go back-to-back for them, but if you told me 2 years from now, can't believe the Cowboys did it, I wouldn't be like, okay, that's insane, no chance. It would just be like that is impressive, that's crazy. They put it together kind of situation. Regardless, though, one more season, unbelievable. I mean, I thought they could do this. I didn't think they would, though. I didn't think they would, even though, like we just said, we did believe they could. And that fumble from, who was it? Damian Williams might have been the game loser there, right in the 4th at the end when they needed the clutch drive. Regardless, really good game. Greg Zuerlein, 4 for freaking 4. What a monster. Greg Zuerlein has been one of the, kind of underrated sleepers here in this rebuild. Without a doubt, he's been a beast. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about rebuilding the Cowboys. They have so many freaking playmakers. It's like, who do you put on the thumbnail? I think this is going to be one of our kind of rare triple player thumbnail. Like, who do you put on here? Zeke is killed in the regular season. He's got to be on the thumbnail. CeeDee Lamb, obviously, that's one of the biggest names of their offseason, if not the biggest. And then Dak is like the biggest story of their offseason. So I'd say you put Dak, CeeDee, and Elliott on there. It would be cool to put Cooper, even though you don't need to, so I wouldn't. Hell, you could freaking put Zach Martin on there because he's an absolute tank. Could put Leighton Vander Esch on there. Could put Lawrence on there. Maybe even a Awuzie, because obviously that's another big story. What's their cornerback group going to look like without Byron Jones? But a lot of stories here, a lot of talent. So, I don't know, you guys already know because, this is pre-upload me. You guys already seen the thumbnail. I was like, damn, he put 43 players on one thumbnail? What an insane dude. But haha, Clinton Dix. Once again, we'll see. I don't really want to lose anyone on this team. I'll offer a little bit more money, see if he wants to stay. The tag is 12.5. The thing is with the tag is, that's obviously ridiculous amounts. I would assume that means like Jamal Adams' contract, a couple of different safety contracts actually went through here. And the other thing is, even though it is good money, it's unlikely to see a back-to-back tag of a player that isn't going to try to contest it. So, yeah, back-to-back tags, unlikely. But it's not the hardest position to fill, so I have pretty good confidence. It just depends on how much money we actually have, because some of these contracts we signed are going to make it harder on us. 15 mil, apparently. Okay, maybe we're not in that bad of a spot as I thought we would be. Gronkowski, normal development, that would be a crazy signing. But I think maybe even a little too big for us. That's what she said. Keanu Neal, though. That's a big signing, too. Willie Gay, I don't think he would... Actually, I don't even think he'd physically be here. Maybe Keanu Neal will take a stab at, see if we can do it. I don't know. Fortunately, Clinton Dix is getting some offers from the Patriots. Patriots do feel like a team that could coach him up even better, honestly. We're going to offer Keanu Neal a 5-year, $42 million deal. Maybe he wants to, secure some money, obviously. But more importantly, win a ring. I don't know. Don't know his priorities in life. I'm actually kind of surprised, but we did get Keanu Neal. This is probably going to absolutely cripple us after this season, or hell, during, well, I guess technically after the season, but for the contracts we probably have to sign going forward. But as of right now, this team is easily the most primed in the league to do another repeat. The three-peat chance here. Did I actually show you guys we didn't cheat? I don't know if that's still going to be available. It should be, right? The season's not over. I mean, the season's over, but here you go. Here's the results of the season. Same season, obviously, no cheating going on here. I don't know why he cares so much, such an ego thing. Oh, he's so good at rebuilding, man. That's such a talent. It's like just such a cool thing this guy can do that nobody in the planet could do. It's been a relaxed rebuild, though. I'm pretty happy with the results of this. Do we still have our punter? We do. Chris Jones, a god. Duffy's actually kind of a waste for us. 5th year. Who's the 5th year option? Leighton Vander Esch. Ooh. I suppose it would make sense because he's going to ask for a lot of money. So if we do want to keep him, 5th year option is the best bet, and it's the only 5th year option. So for the draft, we do have another player that's late first that if we want, we're going to have to... Ooh, corner first round pick for the first pick overall for the Jags. No QB, huh? Any QB, no? No QB. Broncos? Did I miss it? Was there already a QB and we just didn't see it? Well, if there is, I don't know. I thought there was a top-tier quarterback. I don't know. I'm going to try to get to 18 or 19 and take that free safety. If he's gone, that will suck, but I don't think we could trade up too much further. No, we're going to trade with the Rams. I think the Bengals and Ravens could both use a free safety. I think we seen last year before that, a team traded up with only a second from 30 to 20. 32 to 18 is a bit higher, though. All right, so we traded him 32, 64, and Clement for 18. I was going to give him a 5th once again to make it perfectly fair, but they didn't want it. Hopefully the safety is good because we are trading quite a bit to get. Yeah, look, there is a quarterback. I told you, Frank Lunsford. Obviously, if we didn't have Dak on such a long contract, maybe we'd go for him, but we do, so there's no point. There's also a tackle. What's the tackle situation looking like around here? Tyron's got to be at least 30 by now. I think he was 20. Is he 28 and then plus 2 years? Yeah, 30. Lael Collins is actually he's 88. So he's not. I mean, he's a good overall still, but obviously that morale is making him look even better. Tackle could use a guard out of it. How versatile is this tackle? 21 years old. He's kind of got some agility. Probably could play guard. This is tough, man. But then we have Massey, who just looks like a really good player. Great awareness, good hit power. That pursuit being a B- is a little worrisome, but this team could use a free safety. If this guy is superstar or better, it's a great pick. But if he's not, it's bad because it is a safety position after all. But I think this is the number one need for the team, so we are going to take him, which... Okay, he is 75 overall, and he is hidden. How good will he actually be? I have no clue, so we'll find out. If he's star, honestly, I don't know if it was a good pick. Let's take a look at this Huntington guy. Let's keep going until he's gone, which, 76 overall. That's quite a high overall you got there. Now looking around, Darren Allen, late second-round pick. Decently fast, but his top skills aren't really great, so trading up for him doesn't make a lot of sense. Jordan Townsend. Once again, don't really need a QB, but that guy looks very hard to pass. Same with Bennett Warwick. Do we really need a pass rusher? The Bennett or a cornerback? I'm trying to think. Corners are getting a little old. I mean, this guy could, I don't know what his development is, but he could be a decent piece. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to let him go and then just look afterwards to see how good he is. I will say the late third Townsend looks very intriguing. Let's find out. Will we take him, though? That's the question. Pick one in the third round. Whose pick is this? Oh, yeah, Jags. I forgot about that. That's actually a huge steal. Pretty much everyone's gone, and Townsend's definitely the best available. What do you do with Dak, though? I don't know. So whatever. Best available, Townsend. 71 overall with hidden. Okay, so a good pick for sure. A little bit on the weaker side. He does have a little bit of speed. He's pretty average. It really just comes down to the dev to see how good, he was. And then obviously if we do want one of the players we have on the list there, we just take him, I suppose. 32 in the third. Are any of these players worth it? Free safety Clayton Young. Not terrible, actually. Vincent Sanders. If we want him, I'd wait around, even though I think he probably would be gone. Honestly, we're going to trade down, try to add something for next year. I don't like any of these. Those players I just don't think are worth a late third. Third this, fifth next, and Knight for 67 next year from the Jags. Obviously, we don't know how good or bad they will be, even though it worked out for us. They go Reggie Anthony, another cornerback. Desperate for those corners, I guess, which makes no sense at all. I think the first guy they got, they probably didn't even need the first guy with the trade we gave him, but either way. Right guard, Holloway. Late fourth. I mean, you can get another fourth round pick out of that. Guard. Yeah, I think we're going to trade it again. What a game sometimes, I'll tell you. I mean, you have to be, to decline that trade, you kind of have to be telling yourself that you're not a good coach because you just don't believe your team's going to win many games. Best available pick, there is, the fullback's gone, really. Available, I mean, let's take one of these wide receivers, I suppose. Decently fast. This guy's a big body target, though. That guy, Combine Gray, looks great, but he's not really good outside of his age. He doesn't really bring anything to the table. I mean, with Gallup needing a contract and potentially being let go, wide receiver is a big need, so 23 for both of these guys, though. That's rough. Do you go with the slower guy? Whatever, go with the slower guy. 57 overall. He is really young, though, so maybe he has a future. Probably not, though. Let's take a look at the devs of the guys that we got. 22 years old for the new, probably starting free safety. Definitely the new starting free safety, wearing the old Byron Jones number, and ironically, he will be as good as him, probably, just a different position. And, star only. And he'll probably also leave the team at some point. Take a look at that cornerback that they took. Kind of on the slower side. I get he's a big body guy, but that combine probably would not allow him to be the number one pick. And, star development. Even if he was, the Jags definitely got to trade down, right? There's another corner here to the Falcons. I know he's on the smaller side, but It doesn't seem like it was just like every other corner in the class is trash. If you don't take this guy, you're basically going to wait till the third rounder next year. You know, he was decent. He was decent. Let's take a look at that QB, actually, because he looked decent, too. 78 overall, the Buccaneers. Holy crap. What is going on here? Apparently the steal of the century is what's going on. Wow. Let's take a look at the left tackle, and then, I suppose, move on to our final season. Okay, we definitely made a good choice. Not that Huntington's bad, it's just... yeah, normal development is very bad. I kind of was just glancing over trying to sign backups, and we find Brendan Williams. Obviously, you can barely see it, but 23 years old, rookie, defensive end, hidden, 58 overall, obviously, but still, you know, a little steal. Who the hell is this guy? Who the fool? Good old Breland, number 3. I'll take him. Well, anyways, here is the roster for the final season. Obviously, has been a really good run. Let's see if the team can win 3 straight. Obviously, let's take a look at the defense as well. Monty Rice surprisingly didn't get his dev up. We're going to move Hankins up to the number 2 spot just because he has the most potential out of anyone. Trayvon Diggs, 79 overall. Really just never developed for us. Gallimore will be the starter next season with Pharrell at the number 2. Anai, I believe, I mean, he could be the guy. Looked pretty good. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but it happens. Massey, superstar development, new starter. And I didn't even notice. Xavier Woods at 26 actually got a dev up. Yikes. That was not, I mean, obviously still, Massey's a great player, but Woods did really well. Is Massey good in man coverage? That's an interesting thing for the future. I'm just throwing that out there. What dev is this guy? He wants 2.51 on a 1-year deal. You got X Factor, superstar. Okay, hey man, I'll go over it with the guys, see what they think. Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb both need the contract. Obviously, a bit of a difference in price, but there's a reason because CeeDee Lamb's a beast. We're going to give him a 5-year worth about $90 million, which is ridiculous, but totally worth. You need to humble yourself, young man, is what you need to do. Obviously, Greg Zuerlein, I'm going to give him a 2-year deal. He's absolutely earned it. Anthony Brown, I believe, is going to be let go by us. And Connor Williams might be let go as well. Not a bad deal, actually. 2 for 10. No, we're going to have to get rid of him. We can't afford everyone. We can't afford every single player on the team. So we're going to get rid of him. Of course, Gerald's going to be gone. He might even retire before we even get a chance. Chris Jones is going to be gone. We got Duffy finally starting. Gallup's going to be gone, so we will have to look for a new number 3. And then CeeDee Lamb, we are hopefully going to re-sign. All right, no funny business. Just going to go straight to the playoffs, see what the season is like. Hell, who knows? Maybe we went 3-13. Obviously, we didn't. We went 12-3-1. The Giants and Eagles kind of making a rebound. Obviously, the Redskins finally starting to join the rest of the teams a little bit here. This is what the season was. So we lost to the Seahawks, fair enough. Eagles, fair enough. Redskins, I guess, then tied to the Redskins. So the Redskins actually had our number this season, which is a little surprising because they actually didn't really have that great of a year. Let's take a look at Dak. Maybe goes up to superstar. There's a very good chance he does. It's a really good season. Best one so far for us. 38 touchdowns, 7 picks, 3,700 yards. Rushing, Zeke with, I believe, his best season. And then receiving, everyone kind of average. Jordan, a lot of touchdowns. Cooper, not bad. CeeDee Lamb, still kind of fighting for those catches. Both similar numbers, though, which is good. Gallup increases, but he still will be a free agent. Nothing really against him, but I think it is better for him as well if he moves on. Sack totals, Gallimore, nice season. Maybe goes to star. Anai, Lawrence, really, really disappointing. Jalen with 118 tackles. Maybe he goes to superstar just in time. Hell, maybe Hankins with 118 tackles goes up to superstar. Wait, did they both have 118? They did. Interesting stuff. Kicking Zuerlein, another 2 kicks missed, but however, 1 was blocked again. So I like seeing only 9 attempts on field goals because that means we are scoring touchdowns at a high rate. League MVP Cam Newton. Talk about resurging your career, man. Trevor Lawrence at the Rams doing really well. Tua, how's he doing for the Dolphins? Only an 81 overall, really. Yikes. Zeke, Offensive Player of the Year with Dak at number 3. Defensive Player of the Year, we had no one. Rookie of the Year, no. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Massey, yes. Nice. Cowboys, Dak at number 2 again. Zeke at number 1, Lamb at number 3, Cooper at number 10. We have 4 linemen now in the top 10. Gallimore, the number 2 D lineman spot. Linebacker, maybe Jalen? No Jalen. Hankins at number 5 for corner or DB in general. And then Zerline back to that 4 spot. But overall, once again, on par, maybe even a little bit better than all the other seasons, which we know those other 2 seasons, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. All right, the 9-7 Saints going against our 12-3-1 Cowboys, 92 to their 86. So 86, decent overall, but compare that to our 92, it obviously doesn't really, I suppose, is the thing you could take away. Something tells me either we are going to make it all the way back or we're going to lose this game. Nothing else. Either we're going to make it back to the Super Bowl or this is the game we lose. I suppose it's kind of not hard to predict because we had a bye week, so it's basically, we gave ourselves a 66% chance for that to be the case. Right before half, we do get a touchdown, which could be the difference. Is that 2 extra points missed? Greg, please, improve. 32-17, 32-24, and we win the game 32-24. Saints made it hard on us, but ultimately, this team didn't really give them that much of a shot. Costello did outperform Dak by a decent bit. However, I guess to be fair, there is a however, because rush game for Zeke did have a lot of yards. But I suppose with a more successful ground game, you are going to have an easier time passing. So it is what it is. Lamb, didn't really have that good of a year. Defensively, though, Gallimore with 3 sacks. Interesting stuff. Zerline 4 for 4. Crazy. Rams with Trevor Lawrence, 12-4. They're a low overall, but Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Lawrence are 3 very big names. Are they big enough to get the job done? I mean, we'll see. A lockdown corner like Jalen and an absolute force like Aaron Donald, it is kind of surprising that the Rams, who a lot of people would say did have a top 5 roster last year, just kind of disappeared. It's really surprised. Definitely didn't think they were going to actually play as badly as they did. But then again, I didn't really pay attention to them too much. Just like, the Packers season before last year, everyone wanted to say they did so bad, but there was so many games where you change 1 or 2 plays and it's a completely different outcome. So maybe that's what happened to the Rams. I don't know. But here, though, looks like the Rams might have actually had our number. We'll see. You're going to have a miracle. And no, there is no miracle. The Rams, who have a tremendously worse roster than us, have won. I really want to... Okay, so we didn't make it to the Super Bowl again. And that 33% we had was wrong. So we definitely lost. No 3 straight Super Bowls. However, I do want to see what happens if we just sim without being in the game. Which is ironic because typically we actually lose almost every sim that we're not actually in. I think we obviously deserve to win, but it is any given Sunday, so it is kind of dumb for us to do this. And we still lose anyway, so fair enough. Let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster. We haven't actually had a chance at that this entire rebuild. Number 1 QB, number 1 running back. Really, didn't it get on the list with Lamb? That's kind of stupid. Jordan, number 1 tight end, surprisingly. What else do we have? Left tackle, center backup, number 1 right guard, number 2 right tackle, actually. Defensive lineman, no. Gallimore, yes. Linebackers, no. Hankins, yes. So we had quite a bit of Pro Bowlers. Let's take a look at who wins between the Ravens and the Rams for the Super Bowl. And the winner is the Rams. Okay, so the Rams were just on a warpath. Let's take a look at those dev-ups before we head out of here. Dak Superstar. Still no Dak Superstar. It's a bit brutal. Defensively, Gallimore probably. Really? These dev-ups have been brutal. We do see some big ones, though. Jalen Smith is a huge upgrade to Superstar development, without a doubt. And then Hankins, he adds himself to a Superstar development duo. And then Anai, with kind of a rough season, somehow gets a dev up rather than his 12.5. So, interesting stuff. But obviously, this team is super primed still. You're going to probably lose, you are going to lose McCoy, save a little bit of money there. Connor Williams you will have to replace, but still saving a little bit of money in the long run. Do need number 3 wide receiver, but there's not much that actually went worse, that's going to be worse for this team. So this team could end up winning, 3-4 Super Bowls total in a decade span or less. Would be interesting to see. Maybe you guys want to see it. Let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, that's going to be the Cowboys rebuild for today. And obviously super successful. Couldn't really ask for much more from it other than maybe, obviously that third one that would have been nice. But three-peat, that's a challenge and a half. Anyways, if you did enjoy, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at Jeromepkr. If you have any suggestions for a rebuild challenge in the future or something, like a blast from the past idea, I think we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to do a Colts blast from the past. We'll see, but I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. And, a series idea, hell, I don't know if I put it in the community tab or not, but an idea for an emote for Twitch subs. Anything at all, let me know in the comment section below. And hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!